If you're watching this video, hopefully it's because you have not gotten only one product management offer, but you have gotten at least two. And deciding between those is incredibly difficult. I was in the same place, and sometimes I still second guess myself on my decision. This video is really focused on trying to help you make the most educated decision possible. The four factors that I think are the most important to really deciding on where you want to work is: one, what are the learning opportunities? Two, what is the product that you're going to be working on? Three, what is the cultural fit? And four is peers. Talking about learning opportunities, I think there is an argument for both a rotational program and a non-rotational program. A rotational, you get to try multiple things, but again, you're only there for 6 months, and you're not going to be able to really do a lot because a lot of product month cycles are going to be longer than that. And then with doing a non-rotational program, you're really going to be able to take a product right away and see it through all the way from ideation to launch, feedback, and improvement. So there's a lot to be said for both learning opportunities. I think what it comes down to is a lot of what does the mentorship there look like? What do the internal resources for learning there look like? Do they have speakers come and talk to you? Do they offer classes for you to take? Really, where are you going to be able to learn the most? I think a lot of fast-paced environments are really going to help with that. So should be one of the factors that you're weighting things on. Next is, what's the product you're going to be working on? For me, I want to be working on a product that I care about and one that I never use. I never really had a interest in a company like Zynga or Salesforce just because I'm not really passionate about CRM or mobile games. But the one thing that I really liked about Microsoft was I can work on cloud AI in Azure. I can work on Office. I can work on hardware products like Surface. I can work on internet products like Edge. There's just like a vast array. And I think the same goes with a company like Google. Whereas with Facebook, you are going to either be working on a social media product or be lucky enough to work on VR with Oculus. But there's a very limited scope of what you can do. And I think people overlook how things make you feel. You want to work on something that adds purpose and meaningful. And so really take into account the product you're going to be working on and make sure the decision you're making is something that you're going to be passionate about. One of the reasons I didn't choose Intuit was because they have TurboTax, and Intuit actually lobbies the government to keep the tax system as complicated as possible. That way people continue to have to use TurboTax and can't just do it themselves. And personal finance is a really big, important thing to me. So that just really rubbed me the wrong way. And I asked a lot of employees there about it, and no one could give me a good answer on why they lobby the government. Someone told me that because filing their taxes and getting a refund makes people feel good. And I was like, what? They could do that without your software. So really make sure that you're picking a company where you can work on a product that you're passionate about. 3 is cultural fit. And going back to my Intuit and Microsoft example with like the TurboTax factor, that was a cultural factor that just really rubbed me the wrong way. And when it came to my on-sites, my Microsoft was my favorite one. Every single person that interviewed me, I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed the overall vibe on campus. I like how they described the product management roles to me. I just really had a great day at my on-site and got along with everyone that I met there, everyone who I knew who worked at Microsoft, and everyone I met networking. And I think that's what it really comes down to. With Facebook and Lyft, I also enjoyed everyone I networked there, whereas Google, I didn't really vibe with the people. And that's why Google wasn't one of my top choices, because I didn't feel like I fit into that Googliness culture. Same with Uber, I just didn't really like the people I met there. So exploring culture is really important. I will say though, with the larger companies like Google and Microsoft, culture can vary a lot in teams. So keep in mind that teams can be completely different than what the overall company is. And the specific manager you get can either make or break your experience as well. So there's a lot of things that are going to factor into the culture, but overall, really look at what the vibe is of that company and if that's the culture you think you can fit into. Lastly, pick a program that you're going to be surrounded by incredibly smart people. And this, I think, goes along with culture, but it's just when I was at Microsoft and I met the other PMs at Microsoft, I thought there was a higher caliber than at the other companies I met. So trying to go to the places that are more competitive and considered more prestigious are probably going to draw probably a higher caliber of candidate. And those are the people that you want to surround yourself with. And if not, if they're too competitive for you, that's fine too. But really look at the other people you're interviewing with. These are going to be the people that you're spending the most time with, that you're going to become friends with, and that you're going to interact with on a daily basis. So keep in mind the peers that you're going to be working with. Lastly, the secondary factors. Two factors that should come secondary to all of them are one, compensation. Just because one company pays you more doesn't mean you should go work for them, because your compensation is going to fluctuate and change across different companies. And as you go in your career, when you're just starting out of college, compensation should not be the most important factor to you. The other one is location. And this can be more important for some people, but what it comes down to is that there is a very small amount of PM programs. And if you only want to be in New York City, you are going to have a very, very challenging time. So try to make location a secondary factor. If you get two offers, it's okay to choose one over the other, but you can always move. Really what our goal is once you're a product manager, it's easier to switch between companies. One of the reasons I chose Seattle wasn't because I wanted to live there. I want to move back to New York. But I knew that if I lived in Seattle for 2 years, I did the position, then I could ultimately transfer to a lot of other locations. So don't prioritize compensation and location over culture, what you're going to be working on, your learning opportunities, and your peers, because I really think they come second. Finally, attached is a second spreadsheet. And what I want you to do is I want you to go and rank these factors for each company that you're getting offers from. And hopefully that's going to help you make the decision on where you want to go work. And again, congratulations for getting more than one product management offer.